handled Nip. They looked amazing.
They looked great.
Yeah, I could see why it's difficult to try to pick who'd come out ahead before we saw this veto.
Well, let's do it, folks. Let's get into map 1 here. Team Liquid and FaZe Clan. And we begin on Dust 2. Alish going to very confidently just work his way up middle. There's so many players ready for that, but Nav, well, he'll take back 2. 2 of his kills already. Brokey, double of his own. Quick 3v3 out the gates.
Yeah, that was fast. You know, like Liquid love to do this on their CT side pistols. They just, I mean, on Dust 2, it's always welcome to try to run up mid. If you think that someone's only spotting for the lower B push, you can find an opening there. And now I guess FaZe are just, they've got their full attention on all the pushes, just in case there's anybody else lingering. It's sometimes Twist who, on their cat setups on Liquid, on pistol rounds, will walk up mid after they spot someone taking long. This time it's 2 other players, so maybe that's the name tag they're looking for.
No, they're not going to find him. He is very safely tucked behind long. And FaZe Clan, well, they're going to start moving their way over towards the tunnels.
Everybody has come to a resting position on Team Liquid. Stewie, we know he always plays B and is usually alone. He's going to be comfortable in this spot. Not abusing that back box K-sharp position where he's like kind of turning at the side of the box. Instead, he's found a new position to be perched upon.
But he is still shuffling. He's moving here. May get caught by timing if he's not cautious. So he's just going to play inside of the windowsill and talk about the timing. They're able to get out. Now he's going to hear the audio cue, having given up this bomb site. Question will be, does he decide to peek? Well, that flashbang, most certainly, but it hits him too. So we can't really force the issue. Molotov flies by. Bomb goes down. Twist clears out mid. And if Team Liquid, using this next flash, probably just going to try to burst and punch their way through the doorway. Look at that. Olaf, he turns his head away from the duels and... Oh, what?
Wow, okay.
I'd love to see who picks up that kill, because flying CTs seem to be the solution for this pistol.
You have to love the timing. Flash comes high and over, and Stewie's through the door before the flash even pops. He just knows which side of the site it's going to pop on, and then decides that this would be a best moment, because everyone can dodge the flash that comes high over the wall. It's not a perfect pop flash from like the mid doors, and that's maybe a better idea for him. No one's even holding that, actually. So that's just beautiful timing on the retake. They make that as easily as possible. No chance in hell for FaZe, but they do get the bomb down, which means it affects the buy for Team Liquid. They have to be a bit more careful. They might have had maybe four MP9s on this round. Instead, they have 2 here, and they know that FaZe are gonna be able to put together a few rifles on this buy as well. Got the SG, 2 AKs, holding mid, the CT cross smoke, just so that they don't know exactly how many people have made their way to B. And Nitro's going to be the one dedicated in this site.
Yeah, ooh, there goes Nav. He was at the back of middle, and the scout of Olaf finds his head. Now that's going to enable the T's to move downwards, get closer to Cat. Alish had a tough job trying to hold tunnels with that MP9, especially considering all the helmets.
Yeah.
But all things considered here, FaZe, they're just going to readjust and keep 4 of their players towards long.
Again, early on the CT side, Liquid love to try to get aggressive on Cat presence. There's not a lot of nades that can come their way, which is something that gives them an advantage in what's normally a very like a nade-heavy position. FaZe find an opening, though. They found their way outside into long. Nobody's in the pit right now, and that's 4 of them. Nico can also anchor in tunnels and play that kind of late game situation, see if he needs to come in for a clutch or just try to catch some lurk frags.
Well, Twist's M4, that's what will be tested. He's got to keep his head down, though. This Krieg could just pop him. He'll throw down the 1 smoke to try and cross. That's a CT smoke actually within the bomb site, and good damage here off of the SMG. Stewie could go for the boost. Ooh, gotta be careful, though. There's lots of bodies. Olaf, another crucial scout kill. That's 2 for him already. Alish, even though, gets onto the side of that smoke, and Twist still hasn't got into the fight, but check the clock. There's 15 seconds for them to play with. This SMG's done everything!
Oh my god. It's the 2 MP9 kills at the end. You thought after that crazy, awkward dance that they were going to finally wrap around the site, get the entries, and maybe get the bomb down, but instead, it's FaZe playing this game. I guess it's because they were so low on grenades. They didn't feel confident trying to come around single box to get that bomb down as early as they can, and instead we're stood fighting behind these smoke grenades. Eventually tried to jump up, because as you pointed out, it was down to 15 seconds, but it was already a little bit too late. FaZe,
no bomb plant either.
Yeah, no bomb plant as well.
That's a tough pill to swallow. They look so good coming out of that with the double scout entries. But taken aback by Liquid. So they'll find themselves here with lackluster guns, a couple of Deegs, try and smash in the teeth. But nobody's showing face here from Liquid.
Yeah, a little graphic, but okay.
Take a quick look at our Betway live odds here. Team Liquid clearly favored. Everybody other than Sponge predicting them to pick up this match.
Yeah, the tough part was obviously that Faze looked amazing yesterday, but like NIP looked hurt. And we put in the predictions before the NIP game, but obviously Chad saw something that we didn't. That being said, it was hard to discern how good NIP would be after that last series, and if it was Faze that actually were the reason they looked so bad.
Supposed to be an easy one, but Nico has other ideas. 2 kills from the back line there. You saw all these terrorists pushing towards the bomb site, but it wasn't them to get onto the kill feed. No, it's the man who's still tucked back by Cat. Nico never having to move forward, but he gets back into the mix, missing a couple of shots. That's all right. Brokey will pick it up, and Rain even connects one. 2 Deagles and a P250 enable Faze to rob away this round 3.
Funny part is, on that eco and on that last round, it's like the 2 weakest guns they have that are ones that are getting the kills. Last round, it was the scouts from Olaf. This round's the Deagles from Nico. And I mean, at this point, those two terms can't be separated, right? You've got to have Deagles on Nico.
How good does that triple M4 save feel right now? Walking away with robbed weapons and a robbed round.
This is the battlefield that is Dust 2. It's going to come down to a lot of really individual duels, small opportunities that the best fragger will be awarded the kill. And there's only so much strategy that you can come up with that's going to be new and unique, right? I mean, it was talked about on the desk that like maybe Faze made more out of the boot camp, but I think the only thing you could really do to separate yourself from other teams is to practice specifically for those teams, as opposed to just like improving your Dust 2 as a whole. Because for the most part, like you're going to see a lot of the same stuff that we've always seen on Dust 2. But now we're going to come into this round. Liquid have spent all of their money. They haven't got a lot for all of their money. They went to the pawn shop, got a couple of Deagles, and a scout buy. In response, Boost gets picked off. Nico one-taps Nap, and that's Cat presence canceled. Faze might take this as another signal to try to go for long control, but they also know that Liquid are on a broken buy if they're even on a buy. Good on Liquid to jock for position here on long, but even just holding this versus Cat presence won't be enough.
Nope. So I'm curious as to what these B players opt to do. Here's Nitro starting to move forward. Olaf, he's going to get caught off. Ooh. Was a chance for him there to just salvage a situation, but maybe this starts to expedite the Cat push. And, well, Alicia's scout still capable, tagging the first, bagging the second, and now forcing all 3 of those Ts to get into the depths of elbow. They're halfway past it already, and when Twists realizes there's nobody over here, he can turn his attention back towards site. But Rain's still posting up, giving cover, and ensuring the bomb plant.
Yeah.
Stewie picking up this duel from Catwalk, though, that could be huge. He spams smoke, gives way to the information. They know that Lost Famas is over here, but how do they set him up? Well, Nitro's flashbang could be the key piece for the peaks. 1 and 2 from each side, but Stu can't quite find an angle. He will drop Brokey, but Rain, who's done everything thus far, pushes this into the 1v1. He's got to close this gap, get up close, tags him so much through the box, and finishes him off because
he has a kit. Wow, he even had time to pick up the gun. He was fine with it. He knew exactly what he had to work with. That's a round 1 for Liquid, and Stewie's the one who called out Coldzera, probably in jest. That's obviously his friend that he used to play with, but that's I don't know. He had him dead to rights. That was beautiful. And the kit to top it all off. That round, they spent all their money and barely had anything.
That kit.
And that's a round where, again, you have Elige has so much impact with the scout on the players crossing Cat.
Big one.
It's because they retake long that Twist can sit in pit and Elige can stand in his position. He's not allowed to stand in that position if they don't have long control. That's no longer safe. So you could say that even though Twist didn't have to fight anybody for his spot, and he just stood there and actually left his teammate on the A site, it allowed them to win the round because Elige now had free reign and kind of a lot of peace of mind standing on the ramp and kind of working with whatever angles he wanted to.
I think I heard in that was man, I didn't think you even had a kit.
Yeah.
And Stu with a shocker. We'll rob
Yeah,
back
did he
that
pick
one.
up the gun with the thought that he was saying like he thought he lost it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's to say that when Cold was hiding behind the box he thought he lost it, or if it was as he went for the defuse.
Either way.
Rain pops right into the bullet.
Right back into the action. Everybody's trying to fight here on long. And Liquid, they're having none of it. Poor old Olaf playing on his own here. He's going to peek unsuspectingly into Stewie, who slipped into the lower tunnels. Just the young gun, who we've seen pick up this AWP more frequently. Let's see what he can make of it.
Yeah, he's just opping now.
Oh, Stu. Oh, Stu!
Okay. All right. Stu's like, I was in your position once.
Yeah.
I was the brokey of the team. Damn,
Bullies the new kid on the block. Grabs back the op. Thrown over to the hands of Naf.
Feels great to win a round like that, where a team goes for long control and they have the guns to do it, and you come through with Thomases and you win. The first 3 kills are done by both Elige and Twist, and there it is, the strafe through the door. Wow. Okay.
Bad
Back
manners.
on pistols. 4-1 here for Team Liquid, and it's basically a deco. First shot rings off for Rain. Spots one crossing the pit. Doesn't tell him much. Everybody's split up.
One of those rounds that you're supposed to write off already, but, well, we've seen it. The one round FaZe Clan have on the board was made by way of pistols.
Interesting. They've got
However-
Nitro here in the B site. And Stewie's got a lot of freedom. He's opping B quite often. Obviously, they know that it's a save round here for FaZe, so not safe for him to be in B with the op alone.
I'm curious to see what levels of aggression we're going to get out of Team Liquid. I went back. Ooh, Stewie. Hold on. Giving us a highlight here in the
frags.
anti-eco. That's 4, baby.
Well, the plus side for FaZe is only $500 if Stewie wins this round with the ace.
Fair enough.
So I think they'd be happy to do it, but they've got too much pride to give up this kill. They're telling Nico to run to the other site, to go to B. Go die to Nitro. Don't give Stewie this kill. The goals don't change just because you become a pro player, guys.
Of course.
Okay?
It's really about
You
the
can't
kills.
give people aces.
You know, I saw this clip yesterday. I went back and watched the Nafly running through smoke on Vertigo.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fun way to contrast a player like Elige, speak of the devil, to a player like Naf. Naf's playing B site, and Elige was trying to hold back that 3-man hit on the A site.
Yeah.
You know, Elige does what you're supposed to do. Gets 1 kill, falls back, he's waiting, calling for the rotate. If you go and watch Nafly's perspective, he literally holds W from the B site all the way through spawn and through that smoke for the 3K.
He is the most proactive sloth
Yeah.
on Earth. Yeah.
And I think that's a good indication to some of the individuals on Liquid. Sometimes they just don't give a damn, and it ends up giving you these beautiful clips. But here we are back into the gun round, okay? Suddenly the...
Oh, I think Rain eats a flat, his own, I don't know if that was his teammate's flash, but it looked like he wanted to come through the doors. I don't know if that means he would have gotten the kill or died, but Nitro spots him, falls back. Naf's throwing his own utility, not a great sign. Kind of an emergency response as he attempts to fall back. He's just happy no one runs through the flames, and he'll look for a new spot. Luckily, they've still got long control here. Twist has found a comfy spot in the pit, maybe around the pit.
Okay. Running around.
Trying to bait out a shot. Yeah, Naf's gone all the way back. Probably, a good decision based on what we're seeing.
For sure.
Intent on killing him are at FaZe Clan.
Elige calls the audio cue.
Yeah.
It's going to warn Nafly. You see him take a bit of a more passive and safer position.
This is one of the rounds where there's the most stress on Elige. He's the rotator between Game Helper and mid. He's going to have to make a decision if they're going to fake to mid to B, because they've just seen a very standard default from FaZe Clan. Out to cat control, no one taking long quite yet. And so if it's going to be anything on A, it could still be 5 cat, but it could also be a quick mid to B at the drop of a hat. And so he's got to be in the right place at the right time. Smoke comes out, and he'll make his way over.
You didn't talk about this third option. Look how many players are going into the tunnels. 4 from FaZe. Just blankets of smokes here in mid.
See, look at this decision making from Elige.
He's just going to play within it. Obviously, that trajectory is going to tell him he has to keep his attention here. There's still 2 players on this B site. Flash goes high. This should enable their peaks, but support man's down. Stewie, with everything to do, is dropped by the Glock of all things. Bomb planted, and Faze just using 4 players to bully their way out tunnels into the B site.
Yeah, not a bad strategy. Definitely, you have the most ways to die if you come out mid. You can have someone boosted on the box. In CT spawn, even the second smoke that teams throw to go mid to B doesn't block out that threat. Alish even calls that out and comes through the smoke to help out. So Team Liquid go from a situation where they're in like a 3-2 to Alish coming across the left side of mid, making it a 2-1-2. So they're very, very even strength. Should be prepped for a mid to B. But Nico somehow gets the kill. Even though he's behind the smoke, throwing nades, he somehow comes out and kills Alish when he's trying to help out his teammates. So sick individual plays there from Faze. A decent strategy. They keep the 5v5 all the way to their executes.
Right.
That's a good thing. But in general, Liquid did have good adaptations. They kind of still knew what was going to come their way. You can't ask for more than 2 people in the B site, so you'd expect for them to be able to hold a little bit better.
Fair. You saw Alish going for that supportive utility as well, throwing his flashbang over window and moving up towards scaffolds. There was only a kind of small moment where he could have continued to play around on that smoke grenade in mid. But,
yeah, because he
Nico
has to help his team. He doesn't know if Nico's going to fall back, and so he goes for a little spam, but
leave him in mid completely useless.
Right.
But check out the ADR here for Stewie and Alish, just miles and miles above their teammates.
Obviously, if Stewie, Stewie's ADR is high on CT side, that's too. So it's like a lot of presence towards B, whether it's out mid or towards B. And then Alish all the same because he's taking care of that mid to B situation. And what we're witnessing, obviously, is a second look at B site. A great couple of entries from Rain. Winning that duel versus Nitro is enormous because even though he's somewhat low on HP, the second player is not even shooting back. So, yeah, that's what it comes down to sometimes. That's life of a B player, and that's only going to be more difficult now that they've opened up the B tunnels for you to throw nades over.
Yeah, so like, as a B player, you're enjoying these last few maps.
Last few maps,
right?
Yeah. Soak this up, Nitro. Soak this up.
Here comes Alish. Whoa, okay. Catching Rain completely off guard. I mean, there's a trade frag there for him, sure. But damn. With Fury, he flies up Cat. Nice flash, trying to get them out of long doors. They're not going to find anybody here. Twist, who has been in these corners, tucked in cubbies, instead plays on site within the boxes.
Oh, yeah. Not the best. One of the worst spots to hold A from. This is the best situation for FaZe. It's 4-4, but Twist is in the #1 worst position possible for defending versus Long and Cat. This is the only spot he's safe in. Therefore, when they come out and clear this, they know this is the only spot he could stand in.
They have 2 mollies for him. If they want to really flush it out. Now, that's a well-timed smoke. Nico is the only Cat player. Nitro's about to round the corner. This duel could really boil down to timing, especially if Nico decides to push through that smoke, which is a possibility. But this piece, if he's close to the wall, Nitro, he's going to give away a shadow advantage. So, he doesn't, and he does find the back turn. Now, all in from FaZe, and at that 40-second mark, they know exactly what's coming. It is long, but there are duels to win, and Brokey through the box takes this back down to the 2v2. He spots Naf, deals with it, and only now has Nitro left to handle. With Bomb, he can definitely just go for this plant and push this into the retake situation.
Yeah, it's still an even strength game here as Nitro comes up from CT spawn. It's 1 of 3 positions, and Brokey has fake planted a number of times, so he's going to eventually be worried about Long.
Doesn't see the peak, and now he knows that timing. Nitro could be close, but there are options. So he keeps his head on a swivel. Now he's starting to panic, swapping weapons, and he gets it! The young gun.
Wow. I'm glad that FaZe win that round because when you move into the later portions of it, they had the best take possible. They took Long in a situation where they had bored Twist to the point that he didn't want to play there anymore, got there for free, and then got up Cat on this 1-for-1. Alish gets his initial kill, but then gets taken down. Liquid do make a great adjustment in having Nitro come in and flank them. That's awesome. But in general, overall, they still had all the pieces in place in that 4-on-4 situation. So you got to love the setup for them on the T side.
I love that Brokey even just goes to the AK swap, you know? Anticipating maybe he gets pushed. Doesn't want to have to rely on that one shot and die while his gun's on cycle.
Yeah, he kind of he was banking on the reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks frantic. It looks like a panic, but in the end, he anticipates it all And most importantly, even though Nitro gets the first shot off,
Yeah.
it's Brokey who hits the shot.
So I think that's a point for mouse wheel users. I think that's what we've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they in the lead? Ooh. All right.
Lately it's been rough, but
That's the,
yeah, I think we're still in the lead.
I see Electric slide out mid doors. Obviously just dispatching of pistols. Team Liquid hoping to pull off a FaZe clan and upset with the Deeks. Nice flash. He's going to have one pinned into the corner, but it's Nico on the box that really saves the day there for Rain, who then takes the place of the front runner, tries to push up Cat, and does so successfully, completely cutting off what remains of Team Liquid. These two mid rotates. Ooh.
Slaughterhouse, you are never safe on the eco, so it's no small feat to win with 5 alive. That's great. That's a huge round for a FaZe clan. Within 1 now of tying up, bringing back their economy on top of all of that. They have all the guns they want. It's now kind of Team Liquid's move. How do they deal with the aggression that FaZe have? The brand of CS that we're seeing from FaZe Clan is 4-1. They're not 3-2ing things. We saw when they did their B hit, 4 out tunnels, 1 out mid. When they did that long hit just now, 4 crossing long, 1 up Cat. That it can be a problem if Nitro flanks your 1 guy on Cat, and that's when things get a bit stringy. But in general, it's working pretty well for FaZe. So you'd expect them to keep that up.
Well, they're going to keep up the pace, that's for damn sure. Already out mid was Rain. However, that's a response. Nico catching him through the doors. Just as quickly into the 4v4. Flash goes past, Elige gets near. I think he was just scared by that dead body.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. Unlike Logan Paul in a forest, you know what I mean? I'll let that resonate for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let it stew.
There was a high concentration at mid. Nobody actually entried out. They haven't been moving fast off those. Olaf's played an ancillary role on the T side. Kind of slow, third out, something like that. They're waiting to see if Twist can push. He's had a hard time trying to figure out if they're going to take long or if he can flank, because I think FaZe have found that sweet spot where they've come out long, but not that often.
Yeah.
And Twist has never found a situation where he can be useful. And right now he's scared enough that he can't even flank. So he's a very far rotate from B.
You touched on it, gets basically bored enough to play back on site, and that's the one time they go all in on this, but keep your eyes on Nitro. He decides to peek. Doesn't want to fancy them pushing past him. Elige continues the spray. Okay. He does grab that second, but Nico, 1v3, has a player in the open, jumping, hoping, was an fly, and there's the head on display. He takes it. FaZe Clan winning a round off of a beautiful clutch. We are tied at 5 rounds apiece.
We got a lot of COD fans in the corner that are very happy to see an SG clutch, right?
They've got FaZe with scopes. ADS, baby.
Yes, yeah.
Poor Nav.
This is crazy because Nico knows exactly what's happening too. He was the guy at top mid waiting for Twist to try to push out long, so he knows where that fight's going to happen. Basically 100%. He second guesses himself when he turns away, but he eventually looks back, and then obviously it's not a guy you want to aim map with, even if you are Twist. It's a pretty even strength battle. Back on pistols. Didn't seem like this was going to be the case. Liquid faltering a little bit here. 2 up towards long. Elige pressed his face against the end of Cat right now with this deagle. Dangerous spot to be in. Brokey's too prepared. Easy op shot for him. Bombs left back in spawn, and we saw they took their time before. They had a really clean anti-eco, 5 alive on that previous one, propped their economy right back up. As we see, they spent a lot of money. They still are kind of low. If Liquid eco them, it'll be the most tragic affair here for FaZe Clan because they've done so good in the last couple of rounds, but they could end up having to save instantly.
Man, their timing on these B hits have been fantastic. They're going to find it completely open yet again. Sorry, Nitro, you peeked this door, you're dead. Or gets away nearly unscathed. Rain just fishing for frags down mid. He's going to get flanked, though. And he knows it. And here's Nafly stampeding and stomping all around the spawn. Does he really get away? You'd think there was a moment here where they could have pinched him like 2-3 players at a time. So Twists will at least take that, a consolation prize.
It all, of course, amounts to something with the end of the half so far out of view, or far enough out of view. All these kills could mean a lot. Again, Faze here about to, in danger of now losing majority of their players alive, and they're getting squeezed here by the CTs. Nitro could also tap the bomb if you wanted to scare them, but it probably might be a bit too obvious. And it looks like Faze are just fine now. Twist wants too badly to hang on to this SG to seek out more frags, and Faze have solidified themselves as the kings of playgrounds. They are not scared of anybody coming into their territory. So 6-5 now?
Yep,
6 to 5. Yeah, they take a numerical lead. Faze are on fire.
Props to them. That's 5 in a row. We didn't get the spree from Liquid. It was interrupted by that round 3 win from Faze. The one that comes off of the back of just a couple deagles.
Double op adjustment here for Team Liquid. Ops split up, of course. Nafly on A, Stewie on B. Can trade places with Nitro. B has been a big issue, but almost as big of an issue as A has as well. They come out long. Twist, he'll have a duel to take the SG. He can't control the spray. It's just a bit of damage to just 2 people, and Olaf will help him out further. Over at mid, takes out Stewie, who was opping, leaving Nitro on an island at B.
Yeah. An island with finite resources.
Yeah, it's not a beautiful tropical island.
No, he's got like a pile of dirt and a couple seashells.
Yeah.
Poor Nafly was never able to get into the mix either. I mean, there was a moment there, you just saw it, the sheer amount of flashes being thrown from both sides. T's with their heads turned, and Twists caught off. Couldn't maintain that CT-sided Krieg.
Scary. Got like 5 guys playing anti-flash at long.
Yeah, tough stuff. Meanwhile, Nafly, he's just played himself back deeper into the shoulder of Cat. Now, if there's anything, at least Team Liquid are still playing proactive. Naf taking this position has allowed for Elish to come back through middle, try and catch a player off guard, maybe shave down the numbers prior to them hitting the bomb site, because if it was a 3v4, maybe they fancy themselves a bit more. But here it comes. The entirety of FaZe Clan charging down long. Charging slowly, however. Despite being at that 20-second mark, they're still going to throw up the double smokes. But the CTs, because of the time, might want to play into this. We've seen them create these chaotic moments, but it's a slaughter.
Okay.
All 3 members fall with no casualties versus FaZe.
None of these are easy rounds to win, even though they have like a good numbers and great setups. Liquid, as you said, are trying to come up with stuff even when they're down. So that's a good look. Look how fast the leash comes from Cat to the sight box to help out Naf. Obviously, if Naf gets a kill, then maybe it creates a domino effect. Elish can find one, and then they tether back against each other. And FaZe are caught in that same rut where they weren't able to come around the corner as they were on that anti-eco. But instead, they find both kills so easily. So not only are FaZe playing well in the early rounds, finding the opening kill, finding a good setup, finding the good open choke points, they're also doing a great job when they're high on numbers, hitting their shots when it matters, to have the least amount of deaths possible. Nico knew Stewie was up there. He was just happy to take the fight.
Ready for it. Stewie obviously being the one gun for Liquid to work with here in round 13.
Yeah, you see, Stewie's down to 42. Nico feels like I have the right crosshair placement to get this frag. If he does hit the headshot, Stewie dies.
Stewie dies, and that bomb could then split from long so quickly. But what's the adjustment here? Well, Stewie's positioned himself over towards CT cross. He's going to get the boost back up, hits the site. Can he hit the shots? Well, if he does, it'll be versus Brokey, but this one's curious. Olaf, he's coming to clear the tunnels and falls to Nitro, who does get the best of him. Now, Nitro's reaction may be to go join his teammates in middle, but funnily enough, FaZe, they've decided to wrap back through their own spawn towards B. Losing Brokey towards Pit could keep them kerneled towards this A site, and again, it's not the round win, but it's at least a plant for free if they decide to run through this.
Yeah, and here's where the information is king, because Liquid are all, as we're looking at on the minimap, looking at long, but no one's actually peeked wide. If they did that at once, they'd be able to make a hasty rotation back with at least 2 or 3 people.
Still
with the
no one
bomb
on
site
it.
wide open, I mean, it's unlikely, right? You wouldn't want to call this too soon, but there's a chance that FaZe could do something with this. However, the Molotov, it's just good enough. Rain's going to put that bomb down, but he doesn't actually die in the process. 12 HP. The 2v5 is on. No one's coming through the tunnels as well. Let's see if something funny can happen.
This is sketchy. This is still sketchy. It bewilders me that Team Liquid didn't even look like B was a possibility in that moment, but they're not going to put anybody on tons. They flash through, they sprint in, and Rain, well, he has low health, but he does still have the AK Cold with everything to do, just popping noggins. He's cleared 3 bodies and the 4th.
I didn't think it was actually gonna. I didn't think he would actually do it. The 2-on-5 situation, Cold anchoring from tunnels all alone. His teammate 12 HP.
1.
The SG
2.
in play, and he puts together
3.
not 1, 2, 3, but
4
kills.
Yep. And the pop off.
I think he said like, "How are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Damn.
Nicely done. Obviously, the winner of this, you know, they qualify straight to the Blast Premier Spring 2020 Finals.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot on the line. You should get excited.
it's not a guaranteed first place here in this group, right? There's still money to be won.
I'm seeing
but
40 to 50 veins coming out of Cold's arms. I want to see 60 to 70. There's not only a lot of money to be won, the prestige of obviously winning, the thought of getting a land lined up.
yeah, they land immediately today.
Right.
You know, and you get to play in that winner's final tomorrow. Force Team Liquid to take the harder road, the bumpier route.
Right. And that's an eco round where, again, like Faze didn't have an amazing economy. They do with Cold Zero staying alive, getting all those kills, and not having to rebuy as one player on the team. But there was a huge chance there for Team Liquid.
You know, I gotta say, I'm getting flashbacks to what we had yesterday, which was MIBR taking the first map of the series to Vertigo, losing it first, Team Liquid looking like they were gonna come in hot, and then this massive spree of rounds. It's 8 unanswered, potentially if they finish this one, which they start off with a 4v4 from Catwalk, but that immense pressure from grenades does have them fade away just slightly. Instead, they'll test Stu, who rattles around downrange, tucks himself back into the B bomb site, anticipating the potential split, but that's not the case. Faze, oh, that one's gonna sting.
Damn.
45 seconds.
Crouch low enough, it really does become a cloud. They'll go back to what works. Stewie, though, oh, he likes a B push. He's going in with the op slowly, but he'll definitely find a fight, and there's going to be someone there that can trade, you would think. Oh, my God, the jump spot. Ah! Oh! Yo, everybody's dying in the air.
Yikes. That's big.
Wow.
Twist still keeps this 2v2. Did they decide to play off of that? There's a kit, clearly. They've got that flashbang. Oh, but Cold, I mean, he wants to take them down. He is hungry for the fights, and I don't blame him. Here comes Elige, outnumbered. Cold just giving him a warning, like, don't even try it.
Yikes.
But you know he will. He's only got 8 shots in the mag. Ooh, even lower now. He knows he has to reload or swap to the pistol, so his chances go from slim to none. They're trying to chase, and he is slain. So, Faze, 8 in a row, and 1 more to go here. This has been a fantastic T-side.
Yo, they've got consistent strength, whether it's going A or B. That's awesome. Even when they're working their defaults, they've got good stats when it comes to opening kill percentage. They've got a good stat when it comes to how many players are alive on some of the rounds they win. They even have won such a disadvantaged round. Like, even though it is the eco, they've given up a lot of guns. It's 2v5. Rain was low. That's a crazy round to pull off versus Liquid. That's a lot. That's a lot of good stuff here from Faze.
And you know that jump bait in tunnels, like, that's meant to maybe get him to fire a shot from back plat, assuming he's in that position. The fact that they find him pushed into tunnels, oh, that's even
honestly
better.
It doesn't matter, right? Because they would have traded 1 for 1. They're like so close together. Like, Stewie at best can kill one. It still dies. And then they're still likely to lose. But yeah, that's a world we don't live in. Obviously, it does come down to the 1v2 for Elige. Maybe things do really change. But overall, it's like Faze are like, they have a good idea for almost everything they're doing. Wow, that's a kill back for Team Liquid and Elige. Brokies out of the round. Bomb on Cats. Rain showing face. It'll be Naf to take it off, though, if he comes up too close. Though he's only got a scout, huh?
But he does have an M4 attached to him at the hip. comes Rain with the opening kill. That's going to activate Stewie. He hears these grenades being used, sees the second, swapping to the Krieg in the midst of this gunfight, can't take him down, and Rain bails him out. Coming to lend a helping hand as Olaf secures this B site. They could move bomb over, but they have 30 seconds, and with Liquid running around in middle, it's all over! Cold closes the half with a double, and that takes FaZe to the 10-5 lead. Ladies and gentlemen, Liquid has been tested yet again at the start of a
next two maps going to be extremely tight. I think we could be in for like the best series so far if based on the map pool that we've got in this best of 3. So you guys might be in for a big treat. This is Team Liquid's pick normally versus Astralis. They want this in every series. They like to play Dust 2, sometimes as a decider, but a map that they have had to play and practice and really just slave over for a long time. I mean, this is not a small feat for FaZe to be able to pick this up, have such a strong half. And we saw that Liquid were playing smart on so many of those rounds, and FaZe were just a little bit smarter and also a little bit sharper.
Yeah, definitely on point. But here we go. Tease starting to pressure this B site. coldzera's on the plat, trying to tap, but he can't hit any heads. So a clean 2K entry. They have left Nitro tucked away in middle as well. He's only heard one rotator, so that's not too much of a threat towards doors. Okay.
Goodbye and good night.
Yeah. All right. So the spree of rounds comes to an end. Poor FaZe. About to be put out. But that one was simple, Launders. It didn't give us too much to analyze. It's just the old B hit. We saw them scrambling, jumping, and just trying to pressure very quickly, trying to minimize the chance of a rotation. Quick gush.
Yeah, little Suka B or whatever.
So, all right, Team Liquid. I mean, you talked about it, right? The amount of work they've had to put into Dust 2, and if really it boils down to it, the T side is where most teams put in that work. It's where they get those rounds.
Yeah, and that that would make a lot of sense if we were talking about just behind the smoke, no problem. That would mean a lot if it was like one team just trying to figure out how well they can dry run, but FaZe right now are playing so well, it's going to be more than that. Even if Liquid have a good T side, which we know they do, and even if they are like doing okay in terms of fragging, they know they are, they still have to go through like this brick wall that is FaZe, because it doesn't seem like they have many weaknesses across the board. But actually, maybe one of those is Olaf. He's at 3 kills right now, and he'll stay at 3 kills on this round as he gets wiped out instantly. We saw him get caught off guard a lot of the times, actually, in that first half when he was kind of roaming around it in the B tunnels, scouting for information, holding off rotates. And it, fortunately for FaZe, didn't cost them any rounds. That might be even a scarier thought, but they seem to have identified where he'll be on this round.
He had a rather boring role over in the tunnels. Didn't see action too often, and when he did, it came with his back turned. You're absolutely right. Oi! Connects the big one. Here comes that double deagle. Deadly as ever, back towards the A site. One player tucks behind box, the other tries to find an angle, just waiting for the peek towards car. It's Rain, ready. But Elige, he's going to get a headshot even faster. Scout starts to take some damage. Sure, they don't know about Cold, but Brokey's flank is key. He gets his hands on that Galil, but Nitro safely tucked into the bomb plant. Doesn't give coldzera a chance just yet. Brokey recalled back towards Cat, and seeing as he loses his teammate before he can even make his move, he will tuck tail. So Team Liquid convert off the pistol and lose 2 players in the process. Yeah,
time to kill was obviously very low in that round. It was pretty much always headshots really quickly after a peak. Everybody gets wiped out, and it's Liquid to come out ahead. So again, like, this is something, it's like harping on the mechanics on Dust 2. It's a conversation that'll never end and always be important. And it's good to see that Liquid are bringing the same heat that FaZe were in that first half. Obviously, we talk about heat. FaZe, winning 9 rounds in a row, finished that half 4 rounds on top of the streak on fire. It's a lot to mentally try to come back from. It's a daunting thought, but we're already within 3 because of that good start that Liquid had.
This is the Deeg. Boom! That shot gets a little recognition out of Stewie in chat.
What did he say?
At first, he said, nice shot, Cold. And then he said, Keota.
Keota, okay.
Betway odds popping in here. Still Team Liquid favored, understandably. Seeing as they've started this half off not completely flat.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's like it's still in favor of Team Liquid, but it's like a much healthier margin, I suppose.
Definitely.
You can totally see where they're coming, especially after that pistol. You can see, you know, things are very even strength. It's a hard game to call, for sure. And FaZe will have to, on this establishing next round, show us whether or not they've come to play on CT side.
Again, I'm just getting flashbacks to what we started off with yesterday. That Vertigo game really looked like Team Liquid were coming into 2020 a shadow
Wow.
of themselves, but
Like phasers.
top of the smoke.
Wow, climbing over each other right now to take this fight at long, and it's
Good cover.
Liquid pulling back at just the right moment. They see them coming through, and that's it. They dish a bunch of damage out, and they don't take any deaths.
And then, of course, as they go back in on this, re-engaging, grenading, and slaying CTs. They don't need vision. Nafly has the sixth sense. He knows there's bodies piling up on the cross. So that is FaZe still on 10 and Team Liquid taking 8.
Yeah. It was a good try. I mean, you kind of know what the duel is there. Liquid are just hoping to hell that somebody comes through the smoke when they make their way up long so they can pull off a strat like that. It's hard to tell when the timing is. Like, some of it is just luck. Some of it is like the CTs jumping the gun, getting out too early. Here, they pretty much all died behind the smoke, so
right.
they kind of give it their best shot. That's just what's going to happen very often. The smoke kill is not too impressive in that situation.
Like a filthy little rat's nest.
Right.
You know, where there's 3, there's 4, where there's 4, there's 5. He stomps them all out.
Yeah, all sticking together. Okay, so again, a very important round here. This first rifle round on the CT side, FaZe can kind of show us and give us a sign as to how comfortable they are. So even if they lose, there might be a lot of good stuff to discern from this round, from the way they moved around the map, if it does come down to frags. And looking at their setup as it is, Rain is the one moseying between mid and Game Helper. Just how we talked about how Elige was in that position when there was cat control on the board. FaZe are also responding here with Nico and Olaf moving into long control. Do they want to get in the doors? There is a chance here as Naf doesn't have vision on it just yet.
Oh, well-timed molly, though.
Interesting. They found the correct timing. Rain is still below, so even though they have long control, it might end up being a retake situation. Naf is in a pretty important spot.
Yeah, he's still wary of that flank. I don't think we saw Twists at any point push through those long A doors. And Olaf doesn't have to either. But Naf still cautious of it, leaving his other 4 teammates to go do work elsewhere. Here comes Nico, having felt the pressure of the grenades on Catwalk, looking to position safer, and the timing plays to Olaf's favor. Naf had just brought his eyes back to try and watch mid-doors, but with a head turned, his team find themselves 5v4. At least the bomb is planted, and they can fall off of this.
Yeah, they don't know it yet. Naf was supposed to be watching the doors for them, and Liquid, excuse me, still have a way to get back to mid. That could be a great grenade. Rain does take a spot of damage.
Ooh, and Stewie's already posted up for him. That's a big kid from big kill from Cold coming in on mid. But how about Stewie? Stewie and Elige connecting headshots crucially as they take back that man advantage. Cold, he'll find the fadeaway frag, but there's just no time. A layer of uncertainty there from FaZe Clan. They were trying to get their players pushed up from CT spawn. You saw Stewie holding them back. And that one kill I couldn't get out was the one in mid.
Yeah, the big Cold kid.
Yeah, the big
Yeah, it was a good shot, and they just couldn't come through on the retake, which is funny because they do get like what you would think is one of the most critical kills is that top mid player, the guy who's supposed to come in at the end and win the clutch. That guy's out first. So Olaf, I mean, he makes a really brave move coming out of long. Still ends up frustrated by the way he dies at the end of it. But I don't know. It feels like there wasn't enough impact on them trying to come across Cat at first. I feel like Olaf's kill is the kill that's not going to happen that often. So it's nice to get, but maybe they needed to do a bit more in terms of pressure as the players were crossing Cat.
Yeah, really
Nico wasn't in a spot to do that. Rain didn't catch anybody off as well.
I would have liked to have seen a bit of pressure in one of 2 moments, either A, when they're initially getting into the depths of Cat, or secondly in that post plant. I don't know, it felt like it was a little worried. You know, there wasn't any oomph, no pizzazz.
If I'm Liquid, I think that was way too easy, and let's do it again because there's nothing there that should surprise them in a sense. They went through all the motions of clearing Cat properly. They just didn't get the presence that they were asked for. Stewie's patience pays off at mid as well, just to make this round potentially a little bit more easy. Nico was opting or scouting? I actually don't even know, because they're on this save right here. I guess he pulled it in from the last round.
AWP.
Yeah, we'll now pick that up.
But here we go, a little pressure as they try to cross on Cat. Elige dropping bodies. Completely clears out this A site, holds on to long as bomb goes down. Deep Cat presence here, not only with Stewie, but obviously Nitro still in the tunnels too.
You know they're saving. It would be nice to get the kills, but the name of the game is just try to build up the bank right now. Because we move into this next round, Liquid are heavily favored at this point. They're on the T side. They've already built up a pretty strong economy. They know they have to go up against an op again, which is not an exciting prospect, but at the same time, they know that that op is not going to have a lot of help as well. Olaf tries to make do with the CZ. Long range doesn't do him any favors.
At least Brokey hangs on to the AWP. We saw Stewie with an op nearly win a round on the CT side as the single weapon, so I'm curious to see what Faze will get up to next round.
Yeah, and you can. If you're fluid enough and your teammates are willing to boost you on Cat and help you cross the long and do all the rotates, you can be in a lot of places very quickly with the op. So there's tons of chances here.
Ooh, curious. Brokey actually throws that AWP over to Nico.
Whoa, second op is picked up,
Cold
actually.
Zera buys one, yep.
Oh, yeah. So, wow, I totally miscalculated. They got more than a good enough buy. They have all of their utility. And, right, because they had saved those two guns, of course. So now, what is the opening setup going to be? Brokey's making his way over towards B. There's three Ts coming his way. And Stewie looking for another opening op duel. He flicks up fast, but it's just Brokey to jump spot from the back. No plans of dying. Wanted exactly that interaction. Oh, he's not even one of two operas, actually. I thought he was going to be taking it over. I'm losing it right now. There are 4 players on the CT side on the right side of mid. That's a little bit troubling, considering they don't even have long control. They only had 1 player on Cat. What are FaZe doing at the moment?
I feel like they're like 20 seconds late out of spawn almost.
Yeah.
But Catwalk now under question. Nav passes bomb over to Twists, so he should be left to linger outside long. He's probably still pissed off Olaf found timing on him, but speaking of timing, that's a good bit of chip damage off of the grenade.
Wow, I can't believe how light in presence they are at both mid and B.
And yet I don't think they're going to be punished by it unless there's this last 20-second diversion towards the B site.
It's always hard to say, but they're even susceptible to fakes, so like they can pull someone into spawn.
Remember, there's still that smoke down blocking Nico.
That's it. As opposite to FaZe, they're going 4 out mid.
Brokey, he's playing with the idea of keeping his eyes on tunnel, but he's about to be bombarded by players here. Gonna take one hell of an individual play unless Nico gets himself into the fray, trying to find the op shot. Brokey only one. Nico, the exact same situation. 10 seconds though. They need to sprint that bomb to the site, which they will, and it's clear. So they're fine. It's planted, but a man disadvantage as Olaf picks up that kill in mid. Elige will have to contemplate whether he picks or tucks.
Yeah, interesting.
Flash goes in, and it could get rough. Elige does not have Nitro to help him here on this site, and these counter-terrorists are all coming in off of middle with a flurry of utility. They're gonna try to rush through doors, but down goes Elige, empty-handed. Nitro only taking one, so FaZe have done it. They break that spree of rounds. 5 is what Liquid have before FaZe answer back.
Yeah, they'll go and recollect the op. A really sketchy setup, though. That's not like we looked at a round in the first half from FaZe where it's like, I'm just glad they barely pulled it out. Well, here's another round where they barely pull out, but it's such a weird round. I feel like they left Brokey too alone there for having 2 ops. Typically, you ease up on rotations because you can split your ops up. Here, you've got an op trying to support mid over top of a smoke, and because it's Nico, of course he gets a kill, but it's a really ropey situation. He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to have to be there doing that. And even in that 2v3 retake, like you're like, who do you take in that situation? It's pretty 50-50 if you have site control.
I'm curious.
There's a chance that Liquid could win that.
Curious as to how Stewie dies, because that 3v2 was a 3v3, and Stewie would have been somewhere in middle, either on the CT side of doors or maybe here on Xbox. But imagine a world where if he's still in mid and at least stays alive, then Nitro doesn't have to worry about tunnels. Elige isn't faced with a 1v3 on doors. But that's all last round. This one already popping off with Nico here on the entry.
Yeah, taste of their own medicine type of situation.
Exact same 2 players, but mirrored image.
Right, and he's there kind of like unpeaking, but holding his ground, just waiting for the correct opportunity. and he pounces. Just like, immediately gets on top of that situation and has already made the quick rotate around to mid. Stewie caught him off guard here at mid in a round previous, just being patient. And it looks like he wants to get back into position with the Zop after throwing the smoke to see if there's a peek. Let's see if it elicits it. And it's Nico. He's got an angle. It's a little bit too shallow. I don't know if it's just enough for someone who comes out of the door. Yeah. Not seeing exactly through mid. Will now move into that spot. But that's an opportunity of the past. FaZe Clan still up 5-4.
Rain fell. Wasn't able to keep his feet on the ledge. Slipped into the spawn. There's another pickup off the op. Nico doing work. Carving off members of Liquid before they can even try and get to the bomb site. But here they'll go. Jumping one player down towards CT. coldzera, he's going to be pressured by that flashbang. Now it all falls onto Rain, but he gets two.
Whoa.
Heads turned, he pops up and whack-a-mole back. FaZe Clan taking 12.
I want to say that's one of those sprays that's way harder than it looks. Like, he didn't have to move his crosshair, but he's like thinking about a target that's now a lot farther back from his first one. Finds a great time to come up and peek. Overall, great teamwork, but they whittle down the numbers to the point they don't have to be too worried. Even though it's a good execute from Liquid, they come up through CT spawn, they get that long player for free. There's so many outs there. Olaf's still alive, the other player on A is still alive, and there's still two rotators that they have to get through to win the round. So nice overall from FaZe Clan early on as well.
Stringing rounds, trying to kick it up a notch here. Elige charging out long. He had Naf to support. Ooh, wow, long range AK spray to take Rain, and Nico can't answer. You were talking about that heavy numbers of FaZe stacked up here on the right side of mid. Well, they had 4 out the gates yet again.
Yeah, I'm seeing some like indecision when it comes to FaZe Clan's adjustments on their A site. So there might be like something to exploit here for Liquid. When they have them juggling, it seems like FaZe aren't immediately moving. Maybe if Liquid tried to do something like FaZe did, where they put even pressure on both Long and Cat at the same time, there's a chance there that they get a free choke point as well as trade out favorably on a kill. Right now, with Long control, it's a scary situation for FaZe Clan. You don't really want to be left with Cat control late into the round when you don't have any presence at mid. You don't know if a nade can come sailing around the corner or if someone can throw a flash. So it looks like it's going to call for them to be a bit more aggressive. Probably a good response here. Let's see if Stewie can make anything of this, or if he even has to take a fight. How far will they go?
Yeah, he's so tucked in behind this box right now. Can very much just... Oh, but he finds timing, pops up, drops 2. Head splattered on the wall, and now it's a perfect split. They've got that wall of smokes to work around it as well. You said that there was some chances for Team Liquid, maybe because of the indecision of FaZe Clan on this A site. Well, they made a decision to walk 2 players up Cat, and both are taken aback here by Stewie.
Yeah. Again, A site is that just unique place on like compared to any other map. It's a site that you don't even play on the site from. It's a site that you hold down from Cat, you hold down from Long control, very far from the actual bomb plant zone, right? And there, like, all Liquid did was made them really scared. We're like happy to take Long, made them worried about Cat, and it's Stewie to pick up the pieces. He just he wants to see if they come up as far as they do. He's gifted with 2 players that neither of them are waiting for that jump spot, and hits a nice spray transfer. Second kill, he could take as long as he wanted to because that player was counting on the first one to stay alive.
This. Who's looking where? It's like Olaf had just turned his head to hold this.
Yeah.
See, look at that. Just a momentary lapse.
But yeah, even if someone pops their head up that quickly, like, you're going to have the advantage if you hit that first bullet, and still, like, Stewie just nailed it. Yeah. So, yeah, critical frag from him. But I think that in terms of information, he had a lot, you know? He had a lot of confidence when he popped his head up that there may be someone there. Long control once again.
Oh, Olaf.
The revenge of Olaf Meister.
Yeah. I mean, last time there were smoke grenades to work around, and I feel like FaZe were still that far back, but maybe a bit more prepared for these commitments in the 24th round. Still, coldzera gonna try and lend a helping hand on mid. Nico, or excuse me, Rain was calling that pressure. But this is not anything like the last round, Mohan. We had no success for Team Liquid, despite trying to aggressively explode out long.
Well, yeah. I mean, they did clear cat and have pushed up long. So Elige will at least know that, and it's calmed to Naf to come back. Elige could do much better with an SG in this situation. Nico headshots him instantly from the back of the car, straight up assassinated, and so will his friend. No, I'm just kidding. Nafali actually comes through and puts on the showcase for the SG.
Down goes the op. That's a bomb plant. How about a little 1v5? Nope. Rain. Gonna come off the long peak. I mean, he knew he was swarmed. He knew he was screwed. And just like that, Faze now lead by 2. 13-11 as this CT side starts to near the end zone.
Yeah. We're in very tight times. Obviously been a very T-sided affair overall.
For sure.
Yeah, there's a total of 7 CT rounds so far won in this game.
Difference was, of course, that the 5 CT rounds of Liquid come in the first 6 rounds of the half.
Yeah.
Whereas, again, Team Liquid, they won 5 rounds to start this half, and then FaZe had their answer. So, the mid-halves, the late game, you've got to give it to FaZe, which lends me to believe they may just pick this up. I mean, it's quite jarring to think this is a 13-11 score for FaZe, and they had lost both pistols and 10 of the first 11 rounds.
They look like they also will give up 14 here. There's this pistol round that Liquid have. They're grouped up in tunnels. There's 2 players in the B site. FaZe haven't been tested too often there. That one mid to B split that we saw. But you can see why Liquid do wanted to go back to Cat. They had such a good time on that one round getting across. But we're so far from that round now. It looks like Liquid will have to try to reinvent themselves. Still, you don't want to be too safe, or you don't want to be too careful if you're a FaZe clan. You know, you can lose any round. So they've also got smokes to make a creative play. They don't have the guns to do it, but if they can close the distance with this utility, then you might have a very scary round. You've even got a little bit of utility left over for a fake.
Ooh, starting to pressure the pit player. Good timing on the flash. However, it is, again, this all-in on Cat. A good Molotov to deny any bomb plant just yet.
Same trouble. They're not spotting that well. Nico, one opportunity to put pressure on the player crossing. Good grenade, but it doesn't stop Twist from planting. They've got a player at top mid.
Ooh. I mean, bombs down. Utility, though, I mean, that's where FaZe Clan should have the advantage in this retake. Not to mention guns, but an AK from Stewie. Good for at least that first one. It's immediately picked back up by Elige. He's hoping that somebody offers him a shot, and it's Olaf who's up next. He's got to dodge these flashbangs in the mix of it all. Olaf has just a smidgen of an angle, but here's Nitro trying to chime in with his deagle. Time is the biggest issue now. It is so far gone, and Elige is just tucked back behind box, taking damage. Down he goes. Brokey's on the bomb! Oh! And Brokey's removed by Nitro, who takes 2 kills as Liquid rob one, Launders.
It was the exact same problem that we saw from FaZe versus the Cat plays in the past. This time, Liquid win it with nothing. Just the utility. So what the problem is, obviously, Nico, when he's spotting, he gets one opportunity to hit a shot. He does do it through the box on Twist, but he's not getting 2 or 3. You know, many operas in that situation are going to take an early shot. They might eat a flash, but they'll be able to fall back quite easily. I think Nico's being quite passive, as well as Rain is not in an aggressive spot as they're crossing. Instead, he lets them get around elbow, then he starts to try to peek. But because the bomb's down, that's when there's too much pressure already, and it comes down to these kind of like really wonky engagements, like Stewie peering down into CT spawn once again. He literally had the same duel last time and got a free kill. He's got this terrible high ground advantage, and they're coming up from a position where they're showing their legs like before they can even shoot at him. So it's kind of like, what do you expect if you're FaZe Clan? You could throw better grenades to delay longer so you can come up the ramp, but once you let the bomb go down, then people are going to peer over the railing and they're going to get free kills on you. Once again, you're in a situation where if you're Liquid, it's like, why wouldn't you try it again?
So let's see if they do.
Stewie bomb back in spawn. Opping here. You know, part of this is obviously to make it not so obvious what you're doing again. Initial smoke and flash come out to clear out mid because they've got plenty of time to work with. Very easy to come by map control here on the T side of Dust 2. A lot of the time, you're feigning pressure in a lot of different places for a very low amount of utility. And the CTs, conversely, are not trying to overreact. Oh. Nico peeks into that. no chance to trade. Gives himself a chance for his op to go back on cycle in this new angle. They maintain long control, but Cat has been taken over.
What's Naf up to, man? He's playing smokes, dude. Molly, flashbang. He's looking to do work over here on long. He's disturbing and disrupting this double man setup here from Faze. All the while, bombs working up Cat.
That's beautiful. They know Nico's in the pit. The bomb can go down. They also have an op here for the retake. Nafly has to think of so many variables, though. The flank at mid, the people coming up Cat. How can he be useful right now?
I mean, they know he's still around there. These other... Oh! 2 headshots from Twist, but there's Cold, the third player in. Naf's gonna try to sprint as quick as he can, but he's almost caught! He's the last man left, and those 2 players that he was initially fighting in pit now have to go for the retake. He misses his smoke. He meant to cross, and because of that, Olaf wins the duel.
Oh, bomb planted default. There was no way he could win that without peeking. And they edge out the 2v1. Oh my god.
They couldn't plant for Cat because they had all come up to take the bomb site, and they knew that all those players were probably retaking through Catwalk while Naf was stuck indoors.
They were... Actually, what does that mean? They had 2 players in the pit? Why wouldn't they plant for this? They had a post-plant Cat situation, but instead they planted default. Because unless Naf didn't calm to them properly that he had Nico and Olaf locked into the pit. But you would think he would because he put so much effort into it. Smoke going down, spamming, spotting the cross aggressively. But yeah, I mean, it set him up for a really awkward situation in the end. The only thing I could potentially think is the nades sometimes that get thrown. Like, if they're expecting the same strat, then maybe they don't want... If they plant opposite default, then the incendiary comes down on them, and that's what they were worried about. But yeah, they didn't give themselves a lot of outs there in that post plant.
Still, I mean, you know, it's just because they all extended upwards. All 3 of the players from Catwalk went into the site.
Yeah. Wow, look how
they didn't leave an
poor
anchor.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
They do have the 2 ops here.
This is a swing round.
Yeah, this is crazy. They do have 2 ops here for FaZe Clan. That's a boon, but they're low on utility on a few players. They at least prioritize their most important grenades, and it's definitely Liquid who are lacking the most. But Dust 2 is not the map that relies most on grenades. So there is still definitely a very good chance here for Liquid, despite the guns, despite the grenades.
Well-timed Molotov. For a moment, looked like Liquid may have just fancied a bit of a B burst. But now they'll have to play towards default. Somebody better keep eyes on long, because we've got Olaf already tucked in. Oh, excuse me, MP9. Odds are he's not going to peek with this.
Wow. Really important. Small thing, but range shifts over to left side of doors. That's a huge read.
They've cheated a third player towards the B site.
It's very dangerous to cross. So they're banking hard on this to be a B play, and they're right about it.
This is a good read coming out of Faze. Off of the pause. They'll stack this site. They've got players close enough. Brokey to be tested. Just taking down the one. Coldzera burned into the depths of the boxes. And he rocks it. Here comes Olaf. Just ensuring that they know where the last man's at. Team Liquid taking their pause, trying to come up with something fresh, and they get called out, caught with their pants down by FaZe. 15th round is theirs for the taking. 3 map points here on Dust 2.
Yeah, you would expect Liquid aren't necessarily afraid about the round score in specific. What they should be afraid of is that their T side on this map has not been good enough to prove that they can win this map. The only thing they've done that's been really good is obviously pull out the pistol, the preceding 2 rounds, start off with strats that FaZe couldn't keep up with, but then it was only the Cat plays that have been really interesting for them. So you wonder what their strategy is. In general, FaZe have their B site locked down. They look great.
They've got this map locked down. If the buy is anything to go off of, a single scout for Naf, trio of Deegs. But I also remember a particularly disgusting 2K from Alicia's Deagle last night that got us into an overtime. So let's see if history repeats. Rain already in position to just mow down as many members of Liquid as he pleases. Man, a well-timed flash right here.
Oh, you heard it.
Kill them. There it is. It goes high. Rain off of the side. Takes 2. And look at the damage off of the utility. Bombs dropped on top of it. FaZe.
They are staring a 16th round in the face, and they're just gonna desperately try to sprint in. This one's over. Brokey could go as fast as he wants. Faze, no, they've got it. An excellent T-side from them. And a stellar CT shutdown. It looked like Liquid were gonna have something to say on the offense, Launders, but they are quelled pretty quickly.
Yeah, you gotta love how they lock it up there with the proactive cat play as well. You know, Rain coming into the fold was huge. It felt like he was not able to have the impact he wanted to versus those cat plays. And right there, you know, off good flash, great teamwork from Nico.